Hey there, Wendy here with Jazzydoodledesigns, and today we're going to work in Romantic Country, The Second Tale by Erie. Now, this was a request to do a galaxy background with Inktense or Albrecht Dürer, and I've chosen Inktense. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the cover because I am messy, okay? I have only done one page in this so far, but the page that we chose for this oh my word, could I have marked it? Yes. Should I have? Yes. Did I? No. Okay. Here we are. We're going to be doing this page. And what I'm going to be using, I had some of this Gina K masking magic sheets. Now, this is great for card making because you get these sheets and they're like this. And then you stamp your image, whatever you were going to stamp on your card, you stamp on the masking and then you just cut it out. Now, in this case, I don't have a stamp, so I have to kind of create my own, right? So I basically put my sheet on there and I cut it to match. Now, this isn't the cheapest stuff out there, so I am a little stash with it. So I've went so far as to create little like take all the little remnants and use those here, right? And then I'm going to be using this here. It's a project, right? So I have this little guy here, and I'm gonna stick all that on. Now, one way that you can, like if you don't need the center mask, you're just worried about your edges, you could hypothetically pull this down and cut out this part out of the center. And I haven't decided if I'm going to do that or not. So we'll find out what I do in a minute. Okay, I am back, and this is how I have prepped for myself because I'm impatient and messy. I put this cheap cutting board from the dollar store. I put this down to protect this page, the page you see behind, this one, right? Then I put a piece of cardstock. Now, why do I do both? The plastic is to overall protect the bottom page, right? But this page, I put the cardstock because if I just use plastic and I get the Inktense on this plastic, it won't dry as fast. And then if this moves, now it gets that Inktense on the back of this page, and I could have a lot of difficulty covering that. So I want to avoid that. If it happens, it happens, but I want to avoid it the best I can. And so by using cardstock, it's more likely to absorb and dry into the paper. So I'll be using both. As you know, I used the magic mask here. Then what I did is I took washi tape and I taped off about 2 inches this way, and I taped an actual piece of paper completely to the page. Okay, that way this one won't move at all. Next, I have just cardstock. I know this seems like overkill. Inktense, you can't just like lighten it up with water. It's permanent ink. So we want to be protective, and I am a little messy. Okay, so that's why all the precautions, because as you can see, look, I already have Inktense here. This is just paper, okay, behind it. So I want more protection than that. Here I have scraped off Malibu, Violet, Fuchsia, Lapis Blue, and Peacock. Let me see what that is. Is it Peacock Blue here? okay? Those I'm going to be able to use as a wash in conjunction with adding some color to the page. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add color to the page, and then I'm going to use the wash to activate it so that I can really add some fluidity without adding extra water. I thought about just doing it all this way, but I'm afraid I'm going to run out of these colors before I get the whole page done. And so I am going to try and work this area and then move over into this area, then back into this area, and then back into this area. Hopefully maintaining a wet edge the entire time. Off to the side here, I have some just clear water, and I will be using that and another brush to keep that edge wet as much as possible if I think it's starting to dry. Because once Inktense dries, there's no moving it around. Okay? As far as colors, this is my thought. Around the edge here, I'm going to go in with the Malibu. So there'll be Malibu kind of on the edge, this main edge of the moon. Then it's going to move out into the blue, right? And then we'll have our violets and our fuchsias more on the periphery. Okay, so that is kind of just my loose thoughts of this as we go. So I'm going to start with my lightest colors here. Okay, so I'm going in with Malibu. This is 1213. Using a light touch on the side. I am not worried about these white dots at all, okay? Not even a little bit. We're going to cover those up because I'm going to flick. We're going to have spatter, so we're all good. Okay, here's our Malibu. Next up, lapis blue. I'm going over it in some cases, and then making its own color, right? I am not super worried about directionality. Make sure you don't leave any hard marks. See, those marks are a little harsh, and that's because of this plastic, which is kind of a bummer, and I might actually even try just to erase those a little bit, okay? So watch where your paper and your plastic is, because they will create those lines that can be kind of a pain to remove, okay? I want a bunch of blue up in here, maybe over. While I'm working, I think I'm going to take this paper out because until we add the water, we shouldn't have any problems. Okay. This pink, the fuchsia, I want over here by our clouds. I think in between these clouds here. I don't want a whole lot of the fuchsia right now. Okay. Next up is peacock green. Or peacock. That's from a hair. Oh my goodness. We got problems. I don't know that that would cause really a problem there, but why take a chance, right? Let me go in peacock blue up here. I want a little more of that. Malibu up in there. And some violet. So kind of a mix up there. This is more of the peacock blue down here. Malibu in here. Right? And then violet up here. Now what's nice about having these off to the side like this is as you work you can see, oh, I need more X, Y, and Z color, right? A little more Malibu around the edges here. A little more violet down here. Okay. So as you can see, kind of looks like a hot mess. Hopefully that isn't what it is. All right. I think I want some of that lapis blue down here in this area. Okay, now we'll get all of our protections. Let's brush everything off so we don't have any strays. My mask is coming off right there, so I'm just going to tape it down a little bit. Little protection. Okay, anything else I want to add? Maybe just a little more here. Maybe just a little more violet. And just a touch more fuchsia. Just in that one spot. Okay. All right, y'all. The moment of truth. I don't know if I mentioned what brushes I'm using. These are all round. I just grabbed whatever I had. Okay. So this is a Royal Langnickel 6-inch round. Or 6 round. This is a 6 round Grumbacher. And this is a silver crystal 6 round. Okay, so all of those are 6 rounds. All right, and I want to do this because I want to keep my colors as clean as possible when I'm using them this way. Right? I don't want to have to be like cleaning my brushes. Okay, but we're going to start off and just see. I think I'm going to start with the Royal Lang one. And I have some water here. And then I have my clean water here. Okay, if I need it. We want a napkin or 2. Paper towel. What do y'all call it? Kitchen roll. All of the fancy terms. Okay, so let's get started. I think I'm going to go in with a little bit of that violet. And then a little bit of blue. See that harsh edge right there already? So that tells me I need to be working faster. So I'm going to get all my brushes wet. And I'm going to get some of these activated. So here's one that I'm going to fill with fuchsia. And then I'm going to fill this one with Malibu. Okay. And then this one with our lapis blue. Okay. So let's switch to Malibu, back to a little bit of fuchsia over here. Drawing that fuchsia up in a little bit. Then back with my Malibu. Keep that brush moving. Okay, now back in with the blue, a little bit of violet, pink. Am I messing up all my brushes? We're having fun, right? Well, I got that fuchsia. I want to go ahead and activate that a little bit. Get this going. It's kind of a fast little thing here, right? Got a little bit of this going here. I do want to keep this piece a little bit lighter. As you can see, like, I gotta move fast, and I'm not afraid of mixing these, okay? Because I'm gonna go back in with darks too when this is done. So it's actually kind of working out better to almost just have one brush. Being careful now as I work to not be getting stuff all over the place. All right, I want to clean a brush and try and concentrate this Malibu here, because I feel like the moon would make it a little bit lighter, right? So I don't want to lose that. I do like this, even though they're all 6s, this one has a lot bigger bristles, or a fluffier brush, or whatever. It's just a little better quality, I think. More pink in here. And this is a personal call. We could have went in with darker colors from the get-go. Clean my brush. I want a little more of that pure pink. A little more Malibu. Got to be careful we don't go through our paper. So we're going to let this dry, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. It's all dry now. But what I've done here off to the side is I have green aquamarine. I brought in Sea Breeze, which is a much kind of greener turquoise sea teal color, right? So I brought that in. I'm going to bring that in over here, I think. Over here, it got a little muddy, so I am going to add some more fuchsia and more violet to this side. Try and do a little more of the Malibu And then down here at the bottom, I have Payne's Gray and Peacock Blue. Okay, that's what I'm going to be doing. Make sure before you do another layer that this is absolutely dry. It should not feel like, touch one like dry paper and then this paper, and just make sure it doesn't feel colder. I have used the air gun and then allowed it to sit a while before I'm going back in. I will point out, can you see? Try not to mess up myself here. See how I got it on the edge here? That is because even though I said I was going to put paper behind there, remember I moved the paper when I used the pencils? I didn't put the paper back when I used the paintbrush because I'm an idiot. But y'all already know that, right? That's why you follow me, so you can feel better about yourself. Just kidding. But anyway, so that's what I've done, and I wanted to point that out. In retrospect, I think I would have taken this tape and taped all along the edges. In fact, I think I'm going to do that now. Okay, so I have taped all along my page and down the spine as well. Okay, that makes me feel better. I really like this stuff. I'm going to have to see if I can get some more. It's like a washi tape. It feels like paper. I'm going to investigate that because it's really nice. It peels off nice, and yet it stays stuck down. But I don't feel like I'm going to have to worry about it peeling up the paper. All right. So now let's go in and start playing around. Okay? Now here I'm going to be a little more discerning about where I put things, and I'm going to try and keep the darker colors to the outside because we have some moon glow. So I'm going to start with my lighter colors. I do have my paper towels here. So I'm going to go in with this Malibu. Now you can take this directly from the pencil too. But I want to kind of tidy this up a little bit. Maybe bring in a little bit of this darker. Just right here at the edge. Down here. Kind of mixing the violet with that, what is it, peacock blue. A little bit of Malibu. Maybe just a touch of the fuchsia here. Not too much of that violet is really can take over, right? But I want this to be a little less muddy around here. Bringing in that dark there on the side. Up at the top here. really cleaning my brush. I think I'm going to go in directly with the pencil so that I know I'm just getting the fuchsia. So, see how it turns really purple? Get that Malibu by itself. I want to keep that kind of pure. A little violet by itself. That dark back here. Okay, up here I'm going to bring in that new color, that greeny turquoise. And a lot. Over here. And then our darker blue. That Payne's blue, or the Payne's gray, and the blue. And back in with our, let's get some of that fuchsia. Right by itself. Maybe some of that violet. The Malibu by itself. Let's get some of that. Okay. Maybe a little bit of this green right here. Yeah. Maybe just a touch. I'm really liking that color. That violet can really overtake our fuchsia, right? Okay. And then some of this blue down in here. I added just a little more Payne's Gray down here, so I wanted this a little darker. Right? Get a little violet. And then we're going to have to take a look at this once we remove our mask, and then we'll touch it all up, right? More darkness up in this corner, down the side. I like my pages to kind of have that vignette kind of look. It's something I like. Doesn't necessarily mean you like it or have to have it. So anywhere I feel like I have like kind of a harsh line, going in and adding a little more color, softening it up just a little. I do like little pops of color. See how dark that is, and then we just add a little bit of that color, or a little more of this green. I do feel like kind of the dabbing motion helps with that a little bit too. Okay, I'm going to go dry this and I'll be back. Okay, I am back. I wanted to point out your Inktense will stain your Caran d'Ache board. It won't make any difference with anything that you use. It's not like it'll come off if you're, using it in the future, but I did want to point that out. I also wanted to point out that these are the two pencils that I was using my brush on, and it really got a lot of blue and pink down into the wood, and it looked terrible. But if you just let it dry and then give a quick sharpen, you're good as new, okay? So you're not, I don't recommend, I don't like dipping them. Generally speaking, I'm not using quite as many colors, and so I tend to use my board more and less off the pencil. But I just wanted to point that out, okay? Okay, I am back, and this is how our galaxy is looking so far. I think it's fine. okay? You could smooth out any maybe blotchy areas that you didn't like. You could use colored pencils if you like. You could use something like a Mungio pastel. This would be a really good way to add some darkness, maybe smooth out a little bit of any rough pink edges. We could definitely do that. What I'm going to do is I am going to attempt to do this with my Pan Pastels. Now, this is coarse, black coarse pearl medium. Let me take the lid off. Less glare. Okay, so this is black coarse pearl medium and soft white coarse pearl medium and black coarse pearl medium. So I'm going to pull those two out. I'm going to get my little soft brush, and let's take a look. Now, this is experimentation, so hopefully we like it. I mean, Pan Pastels in general are erasable, but I don't know. Now here I'm going to go in with the white. In fact, let me get my eraser. Let's try lifting it. Yeah, that's a good way. So like if you don't like it, we can just lift, right? I'm going to try the white around here. Because I don't want to lose all of our colors, right? But I do want kind of that pearlescent look. Okay? But I do like the dark. I am using it lightly here, right? So that it isn't just like a swatch of the dark. Does that make sense? Okay, down, Ellie, you're gonna have to wait, girl. Or you can get down on your own. You're perfectly capable, Miss. Now, got some of that black on my white side. You could also use like an iridescent medium on this if you didn't like how this turns out. That would be, you know, like a Wink of Stella iridescent medium, something like that. But I'm liking how this is turning out so far. Am I dipping my brush on the wrong side? Yeah. Oh, girl. That dog is so spoiled. She can totally jump down by herself, but instead she'll just bore her little eyeballs into me until I stop what I'm doing to help her. Oh my word. Girl's so spoiled. Hope I'm not messing this all up. Raise your hand if you think I am. Thank God I can't see. Well, guess what? I'm the boss of my own color book, so I think the key is just like make your transitions. I'm getting black in my white. Okay. Look how gray I got that. So I want to wipe off until nothing comes off. So even though it's stained, we'll be fine. And look, no harm, no foul. Okay. I think I want a little bit of dark down here. All right, what do y'all think? Raise your hand if you think I messed it up completely. Okay, brushing that all off. Let's take a peek. I want to throw all my pencils on the floor. What do you guys think? Can you see it all? I feel like there's a pearlescence on it now, but it's not. Like I lost a lot of the glittery bits that I was liking in these darker areas. Now with Pan Pastel, you know you got to spray. So I'm going to do that. But I want to put these glittery bits back in there before I spray. So that's the whole point of this coarse glitter, right? It's all these glittery bits. Otherwise, we could just use black, which you can certainly do. So use what you have, right? Use what you have. I'm not going to brush that off this time. I'm just going to breathe heavy on it. I feel like this is a little... Don't really like that section right there. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go spray, and I'll be back. Okay, one last thing. I had to do it off camera because I do it in a box because otherwise it gets everywhere. I just take some cheap craft paint, right? Mix it with a touch of water. Basically, you're dipping your brush in water and then in the paint. That's about how much you need. It's, that's how much I use anyway. You can experiment on a different piece of paper for the effects. I like to use a fan brush. This is just a really old trashy one I have. And I get my paint on there, and then I use another brush that's kind of a heavier duty one, and I tap like this all over my page. And you get these little speckles of white, right? Like stars. Now I'm going to put some more in using probably my new Langau acrylic gel pen. But I find I like this because I can kind of control how big they are, right? The closer you get to your paper, the bigger your dots. So you can do some up close, right? And then go farther away, the harder you hit it. All of those things make a variety, and so you get a nice speckly effect of different stars, okay? So apologies for not doing it on camera, but it makes a mess, and I don't want white speckles all over my camera. Or not my camera, my computer screen. Okay, y'all, I am back. I sprayed the crap out of this, so hopefully I did a good job, because I know sometimes Pan Pastels, even when you spray them, they can still kind of wipe off on your hands. Okay, but this is my favorite part. Let's find... Okay, let's find a pointy thing here. And let's peel off our mask. We're going to have to tidy up for sure. We can do that though. I knew it would be like that, but you guys know me. You know. I'm so impatient. Here comes the big one. Look at that. That's exciting. See, that's peeled up a little bit. Oh, you can see here I got gray down there. That won't matter. That mask does a really good job, doesn't it? Now this is going to be fine because I'm going to put some white around like our clouds and stuff. So that was part of why I wasn't too worried about it. Down here, because it's so dark, we can fill this all in with a black colored pencil. I think that's all going to be fine. Yeah, I'm not worried a bit. I'm not going to unpeel the sides because that's just a hot mess. But I'm not going to unpeel the sides because I could still make a mess, is what I meant to say. So I want to pull slowly so I don't rip the page. The key to this is don't pull way out here. You want to get down and you want to pull like this as she rips the page. Yeah, okay. Please don't take advice from me. The key is to go slow though. Don't be impatient. Nice and slow, real close to the paper. See? So even though that paper was already kind of, dare I say, damaged, just take your time. But see how much I saved myself? Look at all that on the edges there. Okay. So once again, peeling close and slow. I also feel like it helps if it's more at an angle than straight up and down. I don't know if there's any truth in that or if it's just me being weird. Okay. But there you have it. There's our galaxy page. Ta-da! Okay, so that's all that I'm going to do at this point. Now, once I've completely colored the rest of the page, then I will go in and I will add some using like a Posca pen or a white gel pen. I'm going to add some more stars, but I don't want to do that until I'm all done with the rest of the page. Okay, so that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. Happy coloring. Thank you for watching another video from Jazzydoodledesigns. If you'd like even more Jazzydoodle and a little more snark, please check out the membership below. If you're looking for a community where you can share your work and chat with other fellow colorists in a safe and welcoming environment, hit the subscribe button to Jazzydoodledesigns and then look for Jazzydoodledesigns Coloring Community on Facebook. And there you can join a group of fellow colorists to talk all things coloring and share cute pet pictures. I hope to see you there. And until next time, happy coloring.